Hey, kindergartners, Mrs. Norton here. Happy Wednesday, April 8th. I am so excited that you're here with me today. Are you ready for Chapter 2? Before we start Chapter 2, pirates again. Oh no, they've already seen pirates before. Must have been another story. We are going to talk just a little bit about what we're going to do today. So as I read you the book, you're going to think about what Jack and Annie are doing and where they are at. And as I do that, you are going to draw, you're going to draw Jack and Annie and where they're at and what they are doing, okay? Awesome. And then your job as I'm reading is to also be listening for facts about what are some of the facts Jack and Annie have learned. So you can draw some pictures as well as listen to the story. So, are we ready to get started? Awesome. Chapter 2. Pirates again. Jack opened his eyes. Teddy and Kathleen were gone. The warm air was filled with mist. Jack and Annie peered out the window together. The treehouse had landed in a tall tree with spreading branches. The mist was so thick they couldn't see anything around them. But Jack heard the caw of seagulls and the swooshing of rolling waves. He smelled salt water and seaweed. The ocean's out there. Feel it? Said Annie. I hear it and smell it, said Jack. Then let's go play in it, said Annie. She pulled off her sneakers and socks. We can't just play, said Jack. We have to look for the secret of happiness. Well, I'm happiest when I'm playing in the ocean. Annie started down the rope ladder. I'm sure our mission's harder than that, Jack thought. He took their library books out of his pack and replaced them with the deep sea book. Hurry, said Annie. Jack put on his pack and started down after her. He stepped off the ladder onto the misty ground. Come on, said Annie. Jack followed Annie toward the sounds of the seabirds and waves. They walked through feathery ferns and climbed a sloping sand dune. When they rounded the top, Jack saw waves rolling into a wide, sandy beach. Sounds wonderful. But the ocean itself was still shrouded in a gray haze. Do you know what a gray haze is? It's like a big cloud, like a sort of foggy cloud. Wow, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. Come on, let's go in, Annie said. Jack and Annie hurried down the dune and ran toward the ocean. While Annie waded into the water, Jack stood at the edge and pulled out their research book. Listen to this, Annie, he called. Jack read loudly. Water covers 3/4 of our earth. Most of the ocean is an enormous plain, a little more than 2 miles deep. But some ocean trenches are more than 6 miles deep. These sound like some facts to me that he read in a book. Let's talk about it for a minute. Jack said that water covers more than 3/4 of the earth. So if this were the earth, 3 of these 4 circle pieces would be colored in. That's how much of the earth is covered in water. Is that a good fact to remember? 3/4 or most, 75% of the earth is covered in water. It's amazing. He also said that most of the ocean is 2 miles deep and in some parts 6 miles deep. You guys, that is really deep. 2 miles deep is like going all the way to like Ponderay and back. 6 miles is so far I can't even imagine. That'd be like going to Sandpoint and back. That's really deep. Those are 2 cool facts. 3/4 of the water is covered, or 3/4 of the earth is covered in water, and most of the ocean is 2 miles deep, and some parts even 6 miles deep. Wow. I wonder what other facts Jack will share with us. More than 6 miles, Annie asked, splashing the water with her hands. It's 6 miles from our house to Aunt Libby's. I know, said Jack. He read more. The ocean is home to thousands and thousands of sea creatures. Mountains and volcanoes are also hidden deep beneath the surface of the sea. Whoa! Did he just say the ocean is home to thousands of animals? And that there are mountains and volcanoes under the sea? Those are some cool facts. Wow, we've already learned a lot of facts about the ocean. Thousands and thousands of animals. Woo! I'm going to send you guys a link so just so you know when you're done with this, you can look at how many different cool things are in the ocean. Let's keep reading our story. Okay, so Jack and Annie, they're in the ocean. Annie's playing, Jack is reading the book. Let's find out what happens next. Mountains and volcanoes, asked Annie. Under the water? That's what the book says, said Jack. The ocean's a whole world we don't know anything about. Well, some people know about it, said Annie, or that book couldn't have been written. Good point, thought Jack. Put the book away and come in, Jack, said Annie. The sun's coming out. Jack looked up from his book. The sun was burning away the mist, making the day hotter. Let's go swimming, said Annie. As Annie dove into a wave, Jack put his book into his backpack. He left his pack on the beach and then waded into the water. Great, huh? Called Annie. Yeah, Jack said as he dug his toes into the soft, gooey sand. Cool seawater lapped around his calves. He felt the warm sunshine on his face. Oh, so wonderful. Let's swim farther out, said Annie. Maybe the secret of happiness is in the deep sea. How do we go down there without a submarine? Asked Jack. And here's a cool picture of them playing in the water. There's Annie swimming and Jack digging his toes into the sand. You notice anything else in the picture? Oh yeah, I saw that too. The wand, said Annie. Maybe it will turn us into fish or something. Jack closed his eyes and pictured the darkness of the deep filled with thousands of weird creatures. But the wand can be used only after we've tried our hardest. I don't think we've done that yet, said Jack. Oh, right, said Annie. Plus, it has to be for others' good, for the good of others. So first we have to find some others, Jack said, his eyes still closed. Jack, you won't believe it, said Annie. What? Jack asked dreamily. Take a look, said Annie. Jack sighed and opened his eyes. The mist had cleared a bit, and the day was becoming bright and hot. I think we just found others, said Annie. She pointed out to sea. Jack shaded his eyes and squinted. Through the wavy sunlight, he saw a large wooden ship with 3 tall masts. Whoa, he breathed. That's a ship from a long time ago. Yeah, remember when we ran into the pirate ship, said Annie. This ship looks the same, doesn't it? Oh, no, said Jack. Pirates again? Look! A rowboat's leaving the ship, said Annie. Oh, man, said Jack. It's heading towards us, said Annie. Just like that other time, remember? The pirates came ashore and chased us. Remember Pinky, Stinky, and Captain Bones? Don't panic, said Jack, panicking. He splashed out of the water and ran up to the beach. Where should we go? Asked Annie, hurrying after him. To the treehouse, said Jack. He grabbed his backpack. But the pirates climbed up to the treehouse, said Annie. Pinky and Stinky found. Forget Pinky and Stinky, said Jack. Let's just get out of here. Jack and Annie charged toward the sand dune. They raced up and over the top and ran through the tall ferns and grass until they came to the rope ladder. Up, 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 Jack cried. Jack and Annie climbed into the treehouse. Pull the ladder up, said Jack. Together they hauled the rope ladder up after them. Where's the Pennsylvania book? Said Jack. He looked around wildly for the book that always took them home. He grabbed it, found a picture of Frog Creek. Wait! Don't make a wish yet, said Annie. She was looking out the window. I'm not so sure these guys are pirates. Clutching the Pennsylvania book to his chest, Jack looked out the window with Annie. There were 3 men in the rowboat. The boat rode the top of a wave and came close to the beach. The two men scrambled out and dragged the boat from the shallow water onto the sand. They both wore huge, bulky vests over white, puffy-sleeved shirts. They wore round white hats with white pants rolled up to their knees. Those don't look at all like the Pinky and Stinky," said Annie. "You're right," said Jack. "Pirates never wear such clean-looking clothes." "And look at that third guy," said Annie. The third man stepped out of the rowboat carrying a butterfly net. He pulled off his bulky vest, revealing an old-fashioned suit and bow tie. "He definitely doesn't look like a pirate," said Annie. "Yeah," said Jack. "He looks like he's never been on a boat before in his life." As the two sailors pulled the rowboat farther onto the beach, the man in the bow tie picked up a stick. He started poking at clumps of seaweed. "What's he doing?" asked Jack. The man dropped his stick and picked up something small from the sand. He studied it for a moment. Then he knelt down, pulled a small book out of his pocket, and started to write. "Who is he?" said Jack. "I don't know," said Annie. "But one thing's for sure, pirates don't carry butterfly nets or write in notebooks." "You're right," said Jack. He put down the Pennsylvania book. "So what's going on?" Here's a picture of the guys in the rowboat. The man with the bow tie and the net and the stick. And here are the two guys with the puffy pants and white hats. And here are Jack and Annie up in the treehouse checking them out. "Let's go find out," said Annie. She dropped the rope ladder back to the ground and started down. Jack grabbed his pack and hurried after her. Together they ran barefoot over the hot sand and through the feathery ferns. They climbed to the top of the sand dune and looked down. The three men were still at the edge of the water while the big ship drifted offshore. "Hey, look! You can see the name of the ship," said Annie. Jack peered through the haze and read on the side of the ship, "HMS Challenger." "I'll look it up," he whispered. He pulled out the research book and searched the index. "It's here," he whispered. He found the right page and read, "The HMS Challenger, HMS stands for Her Majesty's Ship, was a British Navy vessel that served as the first dedicated scientific exploration ship in the history of the world." "Oh, man," said Jack, looking up. "That is so cool." "Yeah, read more," whispered Annie. Jack read on. From 1872 to 1876, the HMS Challenger circled the globe, exploring the dark depths of the ocean. There were over 200 seamen and 6 scientists aboard. "So we landed in the 1870s, said Jack, looking up again. "And the guy with the butterfly net must be one of those scientists," said Annie. "Come on, let's go meet him." Before Jack could tell her to wait, Annie darted down the sand dune. "Hey, guys!" she called. She waved her arms. "Hi!" The three men whirled around. Their eyes grew wide and their mouths dropped open. They looked at Annie as if they were staring at a ghost. And that's the end of the chapter. Man, that was exciting. At first I thought we were going to have to deal with pirates, but luckily it's just some scientists and explorers. The last fact that we learned was the HMS Challenger, or Her Majesty's Ship, was the first ship to explore the deep sea. That's so cool. We're going to learn about the deep sea? Man, I don't know what would be in the deep sea. Do you? Huh, probably be pretty cool. So your job is to finish drawing the characters, Annie and Jack, and maybe a scientist, and to think about what were some facts that Jack and Annie learned. Well, they learned that the ocean is home to thousands of animals, volcanoes, and mountains, that parts of the ocean are over 6 miles deep, and that 3/4 of the world is covered in water. So cool. All right, I'll put some links in there for you. I hope you enjoyed Chapter 2. Talk about it with your mom and dad or write about it. The lesson is right here in Wednesday the 8th, and it just tells you what to do right here, so go ahead and do that. And I can't wait to read to you chapter 3 tomorrow. Chapter 3 is called A Creature Named Henry. So cool. See you tomorrow, kindergartners.